As we look at service providers transitioning to 5G, it's not all about super fast data speeds. They are also evaluating the benefits of voice over new radio. It's clear this technology brings many speed and quality benefits to customers, but is this technology a significant change for CSPs in the industry? Well, to walk us through this topic in more detail, I'm delighted to be joined by Brandon Larson, who heads the Multimedia Business Unit within Mavenir. Brandon, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Justin. Thanks for having me here today.
Brandon, we did, of course, see similar moves with 4G and the emergence of voice over LTE. So what impact will voice over new radio have?
Yeah, the impacts that voice over new radio is going to have is that it's really going to have a lot more disruption this time around than we saw in the 4G era. So the 4G era was primarily a technology evolution. In the transition to 5G, we see the evolution is going to be much more disruptive, and it's really going to be around three areas. One, in the 5G area, cloud strategies are changing for voice services. We've already seen the inflection in the market away from NFV toward containers and Kubernetes. And now there's a real demand from service providers to deliver voice services from public clouds. And we just didn't see that kind of demand earlier this year. The second, we see significant operational transformation happening. That's across CI/CD pipelines, deployment automation, as well as more sophisticated observability frameworks. And we're also seeing a reimagining of voice services. So it's not just about making a call from a mobile phone anymore. We see voice evolving with AR/VR technology, using voice in IoT applications, and also leveraging artificial intelligence and digital assistance in voice services. So we're just seeing a lot more disruption with 5G than we saw in 4G.
And it sounds as though then it's not just one single factor. There are many different factors about 5G that's really making the evolution of this generation so much more transformational this time.
Yeah, absolutely, Justin. I mean, what makes 5G so much different from previous mobile technology generations is that the network and services are no longer centered around human consumption alone. So, in 2G and 3G and 4G, whether it be for calling, texting, or, being able to access a BlackBerry or smartphones, right? It was all around serving human behavior. And in those generations, the way the networks and services were planned, rolled out, operated, were all done based on how humans use those network and services. And because 5G is meant to support all kinds of non-human use cases, all the old ways of doing things really go out the window. So we're seeing change and rethinking across the board, encompassing everything from the way networks are deployed, the use of public cloud over private cloud, what automation is essential, how services are delivered, and also what skill sets are needed, as service providers need to transition in this 5G era.
Yeah, and as they look to voice over new radio and, of course, these 5G networks, they're going to be wondering what the important ingredients for success are. Brandon, can you give us any advice there and maybe also outline some challenges that operators are facing?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for operators is really adapting to the new ways of doing business. Historically, they've always been good at adapting to technological shift. Now we're talking about adapting to the way networks are planned, deployed, tested, operated. So in order to affect that type of change, the service providers are really going to do things like, one, setting moonshot goals. That in the past may have been unthinkable, get everybody thinking big off the start. Secondly is embracing the latest and greatest ideas that cloud technology has to offer, including hyperscalers like AWS. And the third will be adapting the organization and processes to the new ways of doing business. And this also includes upgrading their skill sets accordingly. And I think it's really going to be important that service providers work with partners like Mavenir that have that cloud disruptor DNA and the relevant skill sets to help them evolve in this 5G era.
Times are indeed changing for operators. Brandon, it's good to find out how Mavenir is helping them make the most of the opportunities. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me today, Justin. Have a great day.